let me tell you, when you want to talk about a come to Jesus moment, I really want to paint it for you. So here I am at the end of 3 years of working my butt off. I'm 15 collaborators in, over $180,000 spent, and it is a disaster, right? I'm not talking to my co-producer. My co-producer's not talking to my touring agent, and my touring agent is asking me what is going on with the show. And I had to make some really tough choices. And I had to ask myself, when I sat down and really told the truth, like, what had happened here, right? And when I got honest and when I got truthful, what I saw was that I had been totally shirking my responsibility to my vision. I had been running around, grinding it out, being distracted in ways that were not helpful. I was letting people's flattery get to my head as opposed to really interrogating into what kind of results they were going to produce. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody hear what I'm saying? And at the end of it all, I had to really sit down and I had to ask myself 3 questions in terms of what my options were in that moment. 1, was I going to sell out and tour work that I did not believe in? 2, was I going to go back to my stakeholders and whine about circumstances beyond my control? You know, the whole what happened was. Or 3, was I going to put my big girl shoes on? Was I going to make the hard choice to scrap the work, start from scratch, and deliver on the vision that I had sold and committed to? And what I realized when I surveyed my options was that the latter was the only option that really gave me the opportunity to rise into my potential and to fulfill on the game that I set out to play. I share this because sometimes in life and in business, we have to make hard choices that may have a lot of repercussions. They may involve lots of people. They may involve situations or circumstances or collaborations. But often when we get to this point where the rubber is meeting the road and we can see the fact that the lesson that is coming is about to be very expensive, it inevitably means that we've been sleepwalking, right? We've been seeing what we want to see. We've been hearing what we want to hear. We've been avoiding what we did not want to deal with. We've been giving up our voice or our power in lieu of somebody else's agenda. We've been sitting down on our talents and our gifts, right? And we've been just kind of letting it all occur by default, right, versus by intention. And so in our conversation tonight, I'm curious about where you're being called and invited to wake up, right? If we look at what's happening in the world, there are so many opportunities, right? What's going on in our larger world, right, in our global community, there are so many opportunities where we are being invited to wake up. And I'm curious about your world and your business and what it is that you're seeing there about where you're being invited to wake up, where you're being invited to face the music, let's say, where you're being invited to stand up, right, and find your voice. You're being invited to reclaim your vision, where you're being invited to complete circumstances that are no longer working for you, collaborations, etc., where you're needing to set a boundary, right, to put your hand up or your foot down, right? These are all of the potential frontiers for where waking up can happen, or where you're like just playing straight up small, right? And you've been acting like you're playing big, but you really, when you really get to the heart of it, you know you're not operating at your highest potential. So I want to open up the lines, Dana, and begin our Q&A and start to mix up this conversation about where are you being invited? Where are you being called to wake up? What do you see?